And how did you decide to go into it, like to become a coach? And I think what you mainly do is languages
Mhm.
coach. Is it because you thought like, oh, I want to be the kind of person I wish I met earlier to help me on some subject? Or is it because you love people and you just want to serve and you have the need of serving? Or how did you get into it?
A little bit of the both things you said.
Okay.
Uh, First, I studied a lot, and after a moment, I knew that I had a level of expertise, especially in language learning and the neuroscience behind language learning.
Mm-hmm.
But not only learning about languages. I mean, memory things or decision issues, how to manage the emotional state, everything that is related to this aspect of keeping a high productivity for cognitive activities, like everything related to study. I spend a big amount of my time researching and reading to know the answers, like to know what is better to do in comparison to different strategies. And basically, um, because languages is my focus so
Mm-hmm.
far, nowadays I prefer just to help people in this area.
Mm-hmm.
But I know other topics as well.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm not really using them. So, for example, it already happened to me that I had a student and he was facing a problem with his relationship. And this is not really my goal to help people with relationships. But because I read so much about this, when I heard his history, for me it was obvious what was the mistake that he and his wife were making. And then I said to him what he could change to improve the situation. And basically, he saved his marriage. And he is Italy. There are some people who advertise that they are experts in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is a big problem because nobody can be expert in everything. The person can have knowledge in different areas, but it's different of being an expert. Um, in the area of business, leadership, sales, productivity, uh, there are there are two guys that I think at the moment. The first one is Brian Tracy from Canada,
Okay.
and the second would be Grant Cardone from United
Fine.
States.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the area of sports, the first person that crossed my life is Tim Grover.
Okay.
He was the coach of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and this guy is simply amazing. His approach to upgrade the skills of athletes is simply outstanding. By reading his insights, you know that you can apply those ideas not only in sports but also in different areas of life. So Tim Grover in the sports. Um, in psychology and philosophy of life, there is a guy called Cary Speckman from New
Okay.
Zealand,
Okay.
and he wrote a book called The Winner's Bible. And in his book, I because he is also a neuroscientist,
Mm.
I can see that there are many applications of neuroscientific ideas in the process of coaching. So this guy is very intelligent, someone I would recommend. Uh, Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, he
Mm-hmm.
said that the purpose of life is to be happy. But the only person who is happy is the virtuous person.
Mm-hmm.
So what it means, the person who cares about morality, honesty, developing character, when this person finds happiness is true. But when a person doesn't have virtues, doesn't spend time to develop their own character, basically they will find the pleasure, but not happiness.
Yeah.
So probably there lives one of the most important advices of all time, that someone first needs to develop their character and not think so much about having results. So character comes first.
Yeah.
And Gigi,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, go.
To finish, I would complement this vision from Aristotle with a vision from Viktor Frankl. He was very famous because of his book Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
And it's one of the classic books in psychology. His book is very interesting, and he says that if someone finds meaning in life, they can survive and they can prosper everywhere, in every situation. They will not give up in life. So these two things: first, develop character, and second, try to find the meaning behind the activities. Yeah, this would be the tips for today.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for that. And you know, when you mentioned that we better should focus on the who we are and on developing ourselves instead of only focusing on the results, it makes me think of something about also attracting what we want in life. They say that you should, instead of only like focusing on the external world, like, oh, I want that car, I need this and this and this in my life in order to be happy. They say, well, for you to attract those things, you need to focus on yourself. Like, you need to become the vibration that matches with the things you want in life. So you need to become the person like, you need to focus on yourself and work on yourself to become that level of person that matches the vibration of the things you want. So instead of only focusing on the external and putting the energy on the external, you need to put the energy on the internal level and become the person you want to be. Basically, then you attract those things. It's in that order.
There is a sentence by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was the mentor of Tony Robbins. He said, you can get more than you have because you can become more than you are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's it.
So I think we can wrap it up. Do you have anything you would like to share?
Well, that's it for today, Geraldine. Okay. Thank you for the conversation. You are amazing as always, and hopefully we can make another video soon.
And
Geraldine, one thing very important. I think that coaching is interesting. Of course, everybody who needs help in life would get benefit from coaching, but there is a problem that most people never comment about. That is, if someone becomes obsessed about having success in life, this is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because there are many circumstances in life that we don't control, and not everything depends on us. There are moments, instead of looking for more success, it's necessary to have happiness with what we already have done in life, and not to always be struggling to get more and more, you know?
Yeah, so and even as you say, it's like to enjoy the journey and not being only obsessed about the destination and thinking that we can only be happy when we arrived at the destination. I think it's to enjoy the full journey. Of course, it's nice to have some goals in life, and I think even to wake up in the morning, it's good to have like some motivation and some objectives to achieve. But as you mentioned, as long as it does not become an obsession, then like an unhealthy obsession, then it's good. But I think it's like everything. It's always a question of healthy balance, finding the healthy balance between things. And as I think it's
Exactly.
important that you mention that aspect, because indeed it's life is already, I think, amazing. Of course, there are some ups and downs. It's not always easy, but the downs make us stronger, and the ups, it's made for us to enjoy it's like the fruit of all our efforts. But it's important to enjoy it, so the present moment and the journey.
Yes.
Mm.
One thing, Geraldine. Sometimes having success in life is not healthy. I'll give to you an example. Uh, I read the biography of a gymnast who had almost 20 injuries in
Mhm.
his body. Like he broke his shoulder, his neck, his ribs.
Mm.
Like many times he had injuries in his body, but he won a medal in the Olympic Games. So to put his name in the history of sports, first he needed to sacrifice a lot his own health. So
Mm.
this is something most people in the world would never do,
Yeah.
you know. And
But when you say that success sometimes is not healthy, I think we all have different vision of success. For some people
mhm,
it's about money. Some other people it's about having good impact on people lives or on earth, having like inspiring people. Some other
mhm.
it's like just to be happy and to be happy with their family and having like a simple life. I think we all have different vision on success, and it's super important to have our own idea of success and to define what success is for us, and to not get into what other people's success definition is for us. Like, we all are unique, and I think it's super important to have our own way of viewing success and not get only influenced by what society tells us what success is.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, as you said, everybody is different, so they will need different things in life.
Yeah,
A big mistake people make all the time is comparing themselves to the others
yeah.
when they are unique, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, and I think it's still very difficult and very human to compare ourselves, and we know that it's not good, but I think we always still do it, perhaps unconsciously.